This is Alie.
This is Georgia.
And this is a Slumber Party. This is our podcast, Slumber Party. We're usually on the internet and on TV making drinks and cocktails, but for this, we make a pillow fort in my living room, and then we invite people we have crushes on
to come over and tell us their ghost stories, their most embarrassing moments.
Yep, we ply them with licorice whips and wine spritzers until they reveal stuff that you normally would not talk about unless it was at night and you were wearing footy pajamas. So
which we are.
We invited Joy the Baker over. She has a huge internet following. She's a cookbook author. She's like an internet darling. And we talk all about her childhood, why she is not always Joy the Baker in her real life, and some awesome ghost stories. Oh, dude, her ghost stories are awful.
They're terrible.
So stick around and we'll see if we put shaving cream on her face when she's asleep. We would never do that, though. Maybe. Did you learn anything this week, Georgia?
What did I learn this week?
What did you learn?
I learned that you can cook salmon in a dishwasher.
What?
Did you know that?
That's bullshit.
I swear to God, it's a thing. People do it.
Who does that?
I'm
appalled.
I know.
Well, you does this?
You don't just throw the whole salmon in. And at first I was like, that's disgusting. But I mean, it kind of cleans it. So you put it in like watertight foil. And if you put it on like the regular cooking time or the regular dishwashing time cycle, it'll cook it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Do people only do this in like below the Mason-Dixon line?
Probably. Or like just to wow their friends.
I feel like if you have a dishwasher, you have a stove. And if you have a stove, you have a manner of cooking fish.
But I'm really into things that, double duty things like that.
Nope.
Like the fact that you can wash a baseball hat in the dishwasher too, I find like endlessly fascinating.
I guess the difference between that is you don't eat a hat.
Yeah.
And that's gross.
Why is it gross?
I find it gross.
Why?
Because I think it's weird that it's this box that's full of like food bits and bleach. And even if it's in a foil packet, I feel like the salmon is like, what am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like the whole time the salmon's in a foil packet, it's like, I don't know why this is happening to me. This isn't what was supposed to happen to me.
It gets poached. That's what happens to it. But I feel like whenever I hear stuff like that, it makes me think of like when the end days come and there's no more ovens, but somehow the dishwasher works, and you're like, oh, well, everyone's starving. You can't eat raw salmon. Let me show you something.
After the apocalypse, there's not going to be fire or heat anywhere, even though everything's going to be burning. But everyone's going to be like, I got this sweet ass KitchenAid and it's got an automatic cycle. So let's make some fish, you guys.
I just caught this salmon from like the water of the river of fire that's running through the middle of town.
Of course, the oceans are going to be aflame, but the salmon are going to be plentiful.
Right.
That's one thing we learned about End of Days. My thing is lame now.
What did you learn?
What
did you learn?
I learned the word conglobation. Do you know this word? Neither did I. Conglobation is the act of an animal turning itself into a ball. So like an armadillo or a pill bug.
Oh, okay. I was hoping it would be like just any animal.
Yeah, I know. It's the act of a pop-up stuffed animal.
Oh, so cute.
So if you turn yourself like fetal into a ball, it's called conglobation. The word globe, is in there as in a ball. But I learned it because I was discussing the act of like emotional conglobation of just like, I'm just going to get in a ball just so that I'm completely like encased.
So you're having a good week is what you're
having
saying.
An awesome week.
Like roly-polies do that.
Roly-polies do it. They conglobate.
We used to catch those and step on them. Is that terrible when
I
was a little kid?
Sure is. We used to catch those and put them in the dishwasher. Just a little bit of lemon and dill.
Yeah.
And
poached
delicious.
ladybug or poached roly-polies.
It was like popcorn. Well, we have a guest in the fort.
Yay.
We are joined by a lady. Her name is Joy the Baker. I don't really know her last name.
I don't either. It's the Baker.
The Baker is my last name.
Yeah.
She's in the fort. We've dragged her from the other side of Los Angeles, and we love her. She is a writer and a blogger. She's a baker, as is evidenced by Joy the Baker in her name. And we met her on a trip to England. But Joy, hi.
Hi.
Did you learn anything this week?
I'm also a conglobile.
Are you?
Is that proper?
Are you an emotional conglobile?
I'm a conglobile.
Oh my God, I want to start like the order of the conglobiles, and everyone will just sit in a room and be like, I'm not going to say anything.
Just not even right now.
Not now.
This week I learned that the likelihood of running into an ex-boyfriend at Whole Foods is directly proportionate to the amount of grease in your hair.
Oh, that's a shitty thing to learn.
That's a fun thing to learn. The banana section, organic or regular?
No. Of course it's a banana section. What's up, ex-boyfriend? I was just thinking about you.
Life would be subtle.
What's up?
How did it go?
My hair looks wet. No, it's greasy.
Oh my gosh.
How'd it go?
How'd it go?
It was as quick as it could be.
What happened? Were you like, oh, you?
Oh, hey, hey, you know, you like the high pitched voice. I'm not taking these sunglasses off. The like futzing with the hair. Nothing is helping.
Did you stick around the store afterwards? Because I would have gotten the hell out of there.
Yep.
No, I had things to do.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
Did you pass him again, like,
no,
in the flower aisle?
I saw him. I was like, not that aisle, not right now. Not right now. You can go back.
That's what I hate about Los Angeles is, like, there are like, specific grocery stores that you know you're going to run into someone you know.
Yep.
That's a problem.
So you always have to wear makeup when you go to the grocery store, which feels so awful.
Yeah, or a full burqa.
Yeah.
Picking up some cereal.
When are we going to start ordering our food online and just get it over with?
People do that.
Never leave the house.
It's called a delivery guy. And then the guy shows up, you're like, fuck this pizza guy.
That's not true. Well,
I don't eat pizza.
That's a really awful thing, and we're sorry that you had to learn that this week.
That's real life. It's okay.
We should brief the audience a little bit. We met you on a trip. Beefeater Gin and Plymouth Gin sent Georgia and I on a trip to England, and we got an email saying we would like to take you to England and take you around the distilleries and just be our guest. And we thought it was like totally spam, or we thought we were going to get sold into prostitution sometime in the trip. And much to our chagrin, we did not get sold into prostitution because we hear that that's a good game to get into. But we did meet Joy the Baker.
Within 2 hours of meeting you, we were on a first-class flight.
Well, yeah, because that's how we live.
Remember that?
No. We didn't want to get off the plane. Trip of a lifetime.
It was great. We were all kind of flipping our lids because none of us had been on a first-class flight before. Right. Remember the pods?
We slept in pods. They kept waking us up to give us food. We cried through movies.
Yeah. So that was an alcohol trip, and but that's not your specialty. Your specialty is baking.
My specialty is baking. I think Plymouth and Beefeater Gin thought my specialty was consuming alcohol, and they would not be incorrect in that. But yes, I'm a baker, and I wrote a cookbook, and I'm sitting in a pillow fort.
Yeah.
How did you get started baking?
Oh, great question.
I know we never asked you that, right? Just tell us.
Someone sing Joy to the World, and then we'll all be good.
Georgia on My Mind is next.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Allison. Oh my God.
My dad taught me how to bake when I was really little. He worked at the post office his whole life, but he would come home from work and always want to bake something, and he would pull my sister and I into the kitchen with him, and we would like bake pies and brownies. Also, I've learned how to bake out of necessity because my parents were super health food people, but like way before it was even reasonable. So we were eating like rare bit and like the craziest brown rice you've ever seen. Like, how is this even a thing? And we would get like fig bars, but not even Fig Newton fig bars, like the whole wheat, super dry, gnarly things.
Did you eat a lot of carob as a kid?
A lot of carob,
Me too.
carrot juice. So I learned how to bake because I really just wanted there to be brownies in the house. And that was like the only way it would happen is if I made them.
Did they ever disown you? Were they like, who made these brownies?
No, they were into it.
I bet.
When your dad was teaching you how to cook, was he trying to like instill that in you, or was he just like, I want a fig bar that I made myself?
I don't think it was deliberate. I think he just really liked to do it, and I really like to eat brownies. So it all came together.
Yeah, he's like probably really proud of himself at this point.
Yeah.
That you became a successful baker because
of him.
And
he stopped baking. He's like, Joy, I'd like to place an order for... like, Dad, this is not a bake. Okay, it's sort of a bakery. What do you want?
So how did it become a job for you? A career, rather.
How did it become a career? I feel like when you're 15... whether or not you know it, you're sort of like defining things by your first job. And so my first job was in food, and I worked at a Ben & Jerry's.
Wow.
Like in Century City, not even glamorous because I'm from LA. It's like in the Century City Mall, I worked at the Ben & Jerry's scoop shop, and then I started decorating their cakes.
Ooh.
And then I like moved to Vermont because I was really into Ben & Jerry's.
What?
I did.
Do you have a Ben & Jerry's tattoo?
I should.
You can tell us.
Yeah. I really should. Ice cream cone on my butt.
Did you ever make up your own flavor that was like Joy to the Whirl, but it was like a whirl of caramel or something?
Oh my gosh.
Like, did you ever do that?
You're hired. Yes. No, I didn't do that.
So you're totally self-taught then?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I would just finagle my way into professional by like bringing brownies and cookies to job interviews.
Did you do that?
Oh my God, it totally worked.
When did you first realize that worked? Like, what was the situation? Were you like, I'm just going to do it?
I was up for a baking job. I had no like professional baking experience. It was like this small little bakery. I was like, well, I'm going to bring them chocolate chip cookies. So this will be proof that I can bake. I like had no idea how to bake in a production kitchen, but whatever, like no big deal. And they totally hired me.
Why were those cookies better? Because like when I make cookies at home, which I love to do, I just take someone's recipe off the internet and make that. Like, why were those better?
They weren't better. They were just like cookies, Toll House cookies.
That's good to hear because
Also, I think that if you're willing to wake up at 4 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning to be a baker, then you're hired.
That's
basically
true.
If you'll show up and do it, you're in. I worked in a bakery for, I don't know, 5 years.
Wow. That's a long time. So you learned a lot.
I learned a lot.
And then when did you start the blog? Because that's really, I think, what kind of made you famous, right?
Let's talk about how famous you are.
Yeah, you're so famous.
I'm not kidding right now when I'm like, we went on this trip and we're like, ooh, Joy the Baker. We looked up your numbers on the online.
Gee whiz.
You have a bazillion followers like on every social media. You probably even have followers on Google Plus, and no one's even on Google Plus.
I'm not even on there.
I know. You have such a rabid fan base of people who are like obsessed with you.
People are into it. I think what they're really into is like cupcakes and donuts.
Are you? Because I think sometimes that it's the personality of someone that they trust. Because I follow a lot of food blogs. I love them. And it's like, I trust Smitten Kitchen to like have this be a good thing because she seems like a nice person. So do people feel like they know you when they cook your recipe all the time?
They totally feel like they know me. And that is crazy. But also because I do a podcast.
Yeah.
And on my blog, I have some real talk. Like, look, I'm so imperfect and I mess a lot of things up and I got dumped and like, and I ran into my ex-boyfriend and look how weird I look. And I think that people really relate to that. And I think that's why they come back. I was at a restaurant this morning and the girl that brought us our food was like, excuse me, are you Joy the Baker? And I felt so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed because everyone that I was with was like,
this again?
You're so annoying. And so I was like,
a lot
it has happened like, I don't know, it's a weird amount of times.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was so embarrassed that I think I might have been rude to her and I feel really bad.
How are you rude to her?
Well, I was like, yeah, but I don't know what my tone was because I was self-conscious about all the people that I was with.
You were blowing her off because you were embarrassed about it, not because of her.
Yeah. So I feel bad about that.
Maybe you should bake her some cookies and go get them.
You should.
I probably should.
What restaurant was it?
M Street Kitchen in Santa Monica.
Hey, girl.
Hey, you.
Hey, girl, if you're listening.
My bad.
Did you tip her? Maybe you just should have left her a really big tip.
We tipped.
Okay. Yeah. She was going to give you that lemonade for free, and she's like,
fuck her.
Sure. Whatever, Madonna. Sorry.
But it's a weird thing because I feel like I am really... Joy the Baker is like a version of Joy Wilson. And so Joy the Baker is like so nice all the time. And she's imperfect and like, but it's always charming. And Joy Wilson is like a beast and she's not really that nice all the time.
No, we remember the trip. You were a terrible person the whole time.
And she swears and so whenever people have interactions with me in real life, I feel super self-conscious. Like, oh God, you have seen me.
That's an interesting point though. I mean, I guess now I feel like we're the first generation that really has to grapple with the idea of having a persona online versus your actual persona. And you're legit famous, but even people who aren't are like, yeah, my Twitter account, I'm a real bastard. And you're like, no one ever had to deal with that, you know? So how do you feel like when you were starting to kind of build your brand as Joy the Baker, did you think about how you wanted to put yourself out or kind of what tone you wanted?
No, I didn't really think about it. I felt like I wanted to make a space that was positive and resourceful for people. So, and like somewhat entertaining. And so I would go back and forth between like oversharing and then like not sharing at all. And I finally found this like middle road of like, this is what I want to share. This is sort of what people expect. And this is what feels comfortable to me. And it's just not all of me at all. So.
Is it comfortable to have kind of, without having a mental disorder, to have two personalities to live through without the burden of a mental disorder?
Yes, without the burden of no, it's totally fine because it's not like it's a completely different person. It's just like a more toned down version of me. And on my podcast, the Joy the Baker podcast, I am much more myself because I can't help, but it's hard to censor your speaking voice completely, you know, personality in that. So I'm much more myself in that. But
has anyone ever met you or like listened to the podcast and been like, you're not who I thought you were?
Really? Well, like I'll say a few things on the podcast and people will be like,
that's not
disagree, or like someone called me racist once because I was like, oh, you don't even know me. Like if you knew, if you knew me.
Awful racist, right?
But yeah,
what prompted them calling you racist?
Yeah. Oh,
because
you're
a mixed race
about?
Yourself.
I know. That's what's so crazy. I was like, oh, you don't know my dad's black. Oh, you poor thing. I think that we were talking about Cosby sweaters in some way, and they were like, and actually, anytime you mention someone's race, people like get up. People feel really uncomfortable about it. Like I was telling a story about how I went to one of those boot camps in the park where they yell at you. Yikes. And I was describing it, and I was describing the drill instructor, and I described him as a really big black man who was yelling at me because that's exactly what he was. Like so big, so
that
black,
was his description.
So yelling. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And someone was like, I don't see why you would have to add his race to the story. It added nothing to the story. I was like, it added everything to the story. Like, you can see a picture of him now.
I always hear that people who are like a little bit racist themselves are overly aware of that kind of thing. But I'm sure it's not true.
It might be they're bad.
Yeah. Maybe they're just...
But did you pull out the, yo, my dad's black?
Well, no.
Can I pull that out if I want to?
Yes, you can.
My dad is not black. Neither is my mom. I've very curly hair though.
You're sort of halfway there.
Good enough, thank you. I appreciate that.
So takeaway is that Joy the Baker's not racist.
When did you start writing your book, your recipe book?
My book,
Joy the Baker.
I wrote my book in 2010, and it came out early 2012 this year.
When you were coming up with recipes, did you already have so many recipes from your blog from doing that for a few years?
Yeah, can you reuse those?
No, you can't.
Why not?
Oh my god.
They say a thing. They say you can't. And it makes sense because I have tons of recipes on my site that are free and available for people, and so you want to give them something
like
new.
A reason to buy the book, basically.
Give them something new.
Were you kind of like, were some recipes that you're like, I fucking love that recipe so much, I wish I hadn't wasted it on my blog?
No, because I feel like there's always a way that you can adapt it.
Wow.
Be like, let's just put some blueberries in there and make it different.
How many recipes are in your recipe book?
It's 100 recipes and 100 photos.
Wow.
And it's pretty good. There's biscuits and bourbon.
You took the photos yourself, right?
I did.
You're a photographer as well.
Well, I pick up a camera and I take pictures of food.
It's wonderful.
So humble.
You guys.
I know people probably ask you this, but do you have a favorite recipe in the book? Do you have one that you're like, I make this like often?
If I'm going to make any recipe from your book, this is the one.
Any recipe, I would go for the chocolate bundt cake.
Ooh.
It's really good with a chocolate sour cream glaze. It's easy and it's really good.
I have a question though, and this is this is my problem, but like buying a specific pan to make something in, a bundt pan, stresses me out.
Oh, because people don't have bundt pans.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying earlier, is that I like double duty things, like dishwasher and salmon cooking.
Can you cook this cake in the dishwasher?
I think you can cook this cake not in the dishwasher. You could probably cook a salmon in the pan in the dishwasher.
Okay. Well, then I guess.
Oh, so just curl that salmon around that bundt cake. Just curl that right up in there. Conclubate it. Get it a ball.
Wow.
Get it a ball.
So a chocolate bundt cake, I would say it's worth buying the pan, correct?
Buy the pan. Because then you can make so many different things.
Okay.
Salmon rolls, cakes.
Georgia, when you get married, I'm buying you a bundt pan.
Will you? That's
and a dishwasher.
Thank you.
Yeah. In a dishwasher?
And a dishwasher. No, she has a dishwasher.
That's pretty great.
She's good.
Nice.
Do you have any... You are the internet crush of literally quite possibly millions of people. You get that many accounts. Do you have any internet crushes other than us, clearly?
Mm-hmm. Internet crushes. Yeah.
Who's your internet crush?
I really love fashion bloggers because they make me mad and they make me want to look at their beautiful things, but not mad. Mad is the wrong word. I just I'm jealous.
What are you jealous? Like that they have such amazing
They
clothes.
style their situations so beautifully.
I'm indignant and irritated by them often.
Are you?
I don't want to see 500 words on your jean shorts.
I don't read
I don't care about your jean shorts that much, girl. And the fashion bloggers who take a lot of photos of themselves in like their J. Crew cardigan, they can F right off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's sometimes where I'll look at one of those photos.
So you're hate reading.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. My favorite is Emily from Cupcakes and Cashmere. She's been in the game
I love her,
for a long time.
She has.
And she's like old school. She does some food stuff. She does like a lot of cool lifestyle stuff. And then the way she styles her clothes, I think are great. And
she's in Los Angeles too, right? Yeah.
She'll do 4 pictures, just enough to make me like almost start to be hate reading her, but then she stops and she's like, that's it. I'm done.
That's like the one fashion blog that I've looked at and been like, how much is that? I totally could buy that. Normally I'm like, I can't afford that and I don't want it because it's weird that you're wearing like an alligator skin, like short shorts with a like cardigan sweater with like an albatross on it. Like it's weird.
And a bow tie.
Right.
Probably.
But she mixes stuff that's like, that you can totally do, like Zara stuff, and then
totally.
And then her shoes I can never afford. But I like her blog a lot.
It's an interesting thing about hate reading and pictures of yourself, because as someone who's like a personality and a face and like in a brand, where is you've put up too many pictures of yourself line?
Oh gosh.
Do you know what I mean?
It's different for everybody.
I know, but
totally.
Like on some Instagram, I know you're on Instagram at Joy the Baker. I follow you. I like your stuff all the time.
Thank you.
But I feel like I want to see my friends' faces, because if I haven't seen you in a while, I'll be like, oh, look at Joy, look at so pretty over there. Or, you know, their mustache. But then there are other people where I'm like, oh, girl, you put up one more picture of yourself.
I'm going to throw up in my mouth.
Yeah. So where's the line on that, do you think, for internet peoples?
Oh, gosh. It's a very delicate line. Please don't cross that line. I think that, like, I would do like 2 pictures a month of myself on Instagram. If that.
What if they're like action shots? You're like, look at me at this bar with my friends and everything's great.
Yeah.
Instead of like, here's my face close up 4 times.
What about me trying on bikinis?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I Photoshop it.
There's a special website for that.
I actually do follow someone on Instagram who like posted a bunch of photos of her trying on bikinis. Like, how about this one?
Oh, no.
And I was like, I liked you so much before your
Don't do
Instagram.
that.
Look what you did. Look what you did.
I get it.
People just have different taste levels.
Yeah,
what they think is cool. And I am very self-conscious of putting myself out there too much, or making people feel like, look how flawless and amazing my life is, because it's so not that at all. I don't want to make it seem like something that it's not.
There's a lot of self-deprecation in blogging, I think, which is what makes the bloggers so accessible, probably. Mm-hmm. But I'm
writing this thing. I started writing yesterday. You didn't ask me a question, but I'm just
please.
About how bad I feel sometimes. And I think that it's not all about how bad I feel, but I think that a lot of it, I was looking at Pinterest the other day, and I feel like that place is just such a dirty trick sometimes. And like things look like, kitchens look so beautiful. Living rooms have like just the perfect accent table. And like there's no giant stacks of paper like I have on my desk. And everything is so beautifully styled, and it's just an endless stream of that. And I feel like it either makes, like, where's the line between being jealous and being inspired? And it all just comes in so fast, so much, and none of it really sticks, but it's all just like,
look how perfect everyone else's shit is. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so, you have to think about like even the fashion bloggers, they have a pair of pants that are so ratty and ugly that they've never thrown away. And like, just because they're wearing this great outfit doesn't mean that half their closet isn't shit, you know? And it's just what they just decide to put out there. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just keeping that in mind, which is a hard thing to do when you're just like barraged with everyone else's great life.
I wish we could all have a day where we were just real. And we take off work that day, because like the internet is so fast, and I feel like it's picking up even more momentum, that people, like I, speaking for myself, feel like I can never stop working because someone else is always working.
Yeah.
And so I wish that we could all just take a day off, and on that day, maybe just be like more real. Like, this is actually my desk. There's more than just my laptop. and Sharpie markers on it.
But even, I mean, it's so funny because even when you're like quote unquote not working, like your life is your work. So you still are. And it's still
slippery.
If you want to proclaim a day, and announce that, I will follow suit. And I will take a picture of myself in the morning.
You're really good at that. You're like, look how crazy I am.
Look at this. Look at this grossness. We've taken some good pictures together looking our ugliest.
Yes, we have.
If you ask Joy to take a picture looking her ugliest with you, she will. We took one side by side. We'll even post this on the internet of us in England. And I look like Chet in Weird Science at the end when he gets turned into like a big disgusting pile of mucus. And Joy was trying so hard to look ugly.
I was trying to make my face long or something.
And she was just adorable. And everyone, I was like, girl, you are bad at looking bad. But if you announce a day, I'm on board with it. But I actually have a question about work ethic, because as someone who's self-made and who has made, done so much on your own, where does your work ethic come from? Like, do you have any boundaries? Like, do you have any things that keep you motivated?
I really love my apartment in Venice, and I want to stay in it. I just want to stay there. So your rent,
paying your rent is your motivator.
Rent, really, that's real.
So it's fear-based work ethic.
It's always fear-based.
I need to buy a Lambo. I just need to be like, I gotta keep up this lease on my Lambo. I'm gonna keep working. Just develop a drug habit.
Rent.
So so you find you've made a comfortable life, and that kind of drives you a bunch.
Yes, 100%.
When do you know to be like, work day's over, I'm blowing the whistle on Joy the baker?
When I can't stay awake anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You work till you sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you ever date someone? Have you ever dated someone who's like, have noticed any disparities between your Joy the baker and Joy Wilson? Does that ever come up?
Yeah.
Let's talk about boys.
Yeah, no, totally. I've dated, when I date people and situations arise, they often ask, am I talking to Joy Wilson or Joy the baker?
Oh my God. What do? Do you slap them with a spatula?
What's the difference in your mind between Joy Wilson and Joy the baker?
I think Joy the baker is more of a prude, and Joy Wilson will get in your face.
Oh my gosh. I think you would know which one you were talking to then by whether or not someone's in your face at the moment.
Someone might stop and ask yourself, is someone in my face at this moment?
Do you also get are you going to blog about this? Are you going to tell your bloggers about this fight we just had?
No, because I don't.
You don't, and you wouldn't do that?
No.
Oh, that's good.
You just would make like anger muffins with with irate frosting
and safety pin muffins, glue frosting.
So you never talk about your love life?
Not very often.
That's smart.
At all. No. I dated a boy who wanted to be on my blog a lot. And I was like, this is so gross.
Oh, so he was an actor.
It's like, we are not going to date anymore.
It's an invasion of privacy.
He's like, just link to my band's MySpace page. You have a lot of followers. What?
Gross.
That's the worst.
It was really gross.
Never ever date that guy. We're gonna ask about ghost stories.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Do you have any good ones?
Do you have any ghost stories?
My dad
is a ghost.
My dad watched a lot of scary movies when I was growing up, and so The Shining being like the most memorable
in
my
terrifying
imagination.
Movie.
Just he'd be like, and my dad's really, really into Stanley Kubrick. And so am I now. But when you're 5 years old and your dad's like, come here, just listen to the music. And I just seeing like blood gushing out of an elevator. I'm like, I don't know why. The music, I don't know why. So I have a very low tolerance for scary things. Ghosts being one of them.
But we were in London and we were staying at these hotels, remember, that were like the oldest hotels in the city.
But it didn't feel scary.
It didn't feel ghosty.
No, it didn't feel ghosty.
I was hoping the Duke, the first hotel we stayed in that was super old and like the Dukes used to stay there, I was totally hoping to get haunted.
Oh,
I was hoping so hard and it never happened.
I believe that there are ghosts in the Duke Hotel. I think that they're so polite that they don't even want to disturb you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, I get it.
Give you a foot massage while you're falling asleep.
Yeah. Sorry. Seem to have scared you. And then they just trump away. You know what I mean? So I was like, no one here is going to no one here is going to violate me or something. But, so you've never really seen a ghost? You're just terrified of them?
No, I've never seen a ghost. I'm very afraid of them. My friend Nathan lives in Atwater Village in LA, and he lives in the back house, and someone died in his house right before he moved.
Did they tell him that before he moved in?
He knew.
How'd they
and
die?
He lives in the garage. Not in a good way.
Oh, when is it a good way?
I don't know. Well, if you just like old
pass away.
You,
actually, my cousin Andy died recently, and he just died with a cup of tea in his hand and a Kindle on his lap.
Perfect.
Really?
Fell asleep.
If it was a book, it'd be better, but that's great.
R.I.P.
I know.
R.I.P.
But how is a bad way though?
Well, like maybe you didn't want to go.
So he was murdered.
Like maybe someone made you go.
He was murdered.
With a gun.
Something bad happened.
Can you be more specific, like
No, I
in
can't.
LAPD terms? Is there even a code number? Like it was our 5450?
This is a sleepover. We're supposed to be scaring each other.
But his house is definitely haunted by that dude.
How can you tell what happened?
He tells me these stories, and I don't even know how he still lives there. It's in the back house. It's in a garage, and he has 2 cats. And
cats will fuck your shit up.
And it's sort of like a all completely open space. And so he built like curtains around his bed so that he would have like feel like it was more private. And he woke up in the middle of the night just like totally startled. This is his story. But he woke up totally startled. Nothing was happening. And his cat also woke up. And so he's laying in the bed, like looking around, and all of a sudden, the curtain flies open. Nothing.
Well, it's curtains for him.
Tearing up. I know. It's so fucked up.
I know. And then he says, he's like, I've never been more scared in my whole life. He took the curtains down, and he said that things happen like,
Allie's gone. Allie's just
scared. I'm so scared. My eyes are watering.
It's so
Something
scary.
like that did happen to me when I was a kid.
Stuff flies off his shelves a lot, and is like, it falls off way more than the cat would knock it off. And his cats are so docile, like they would never do anything. So things get knocked over all the time. And then in the front house is haunted too. And it's a 2-bedroom house, but it's really, whoever moves in there, it's really only a 1-bedroom because the back bedroom is so cold. So cold. And it feels crazy scary in there.
Oh my God.
And they have the people that live there now had their linen closet back there, like in the closet in the back bedroom, and they would always find the door open when it was like when she actually closed it. She would always find it open. One day she slammed it shut and came back open, and then she found it locked one day.
What?
Like, and they don't even have the key to that door. Like, and it's one of those old timey, like you need one of those like old timey keys to lock it, and they didn't even have that key, and the door was locked. She's like, I'm never going in that room again.
Fuck my linens. Buy new linens.
They took all of their clothes. They took all of the furniture out of that room. Just close the door, and they just leave it alone.
Why don't they move?
I don't know.
I'm
just picturing poltergeists like flying around that room now.
I could not live in that house.
No, I can't even hear about it. Wait, Georgia, something like this happened to you?
Yeah, I don't know why I don't believe in ghosts, because when I was a kid, like things would happen.
Like?
Well, I was sleeping in my bedroom one night with on my bunk bed, and my sister and I shared a bunk bed, and I was on top, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was under 5 because my parents were still married, and I opened my eyes and looked at the wall where there was a closet, the kind of sliding door closet. There's 2 sliding doors, and one of the doors opened on its own. And we don't have animals at the time because my dad was allergic to cats, so I'm sure that nothing opened it. And it opened, and I fucking had to run past it to my parents' room, like freaking out. But I don't know, like kids.
What did you think that was? What do you think it is?
Imagination. Imagination.
You were on a heavy cocaine binge at the time.
Oh, 4 was a hard year for me. Yeah. It's a rough year.
I love that Georgia's had enough things to happen to her where she should believe in ghosts, but she's like, nope.
Still no.
No, I'm just a cynic, I guess.
I don't know. I think, I was raised Catholic, so I was raised thinking like there's all kinds of spirits governing you. So for me to be like, oh, no, I don't believe that there's a patron saint who's going to help me find my keys.
Do you think it's like asking for it?
No.
Did you say no?
No, I feel like if I'm a ghost denier, ghosts will come teach me a lesson. Like, no.
Okay.
But I do feel like that, like but there's tons of things we can't measure.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I love that this podcast is turning into like every episode we have. We're like, tell us your ghost story now.
Well, I know, because it's so creepy. The curtain flung itself open.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Be real.
Let's go to his house. Let's all right now live podcast from his house.
Actually, it's really hot out, so let's just go in the cold room.
Yeah.
Be like, stop, y'all.
Going in there.
Oh my God, if we podcast from the middle of the empty cold room. Come on.
I would Ouija board.
No, I would congregate.
We would all congregate and roll out of there.
Okay, well, We have another question, which is a secret talent. Do you have any secret talents?
Do I have? I can bend my fingers really far back. Ooh. Is that not very far?
That's weird.
Let's see.
Let's weird.
Compare.
She's that's weird. She's bending it back pretty far.
That's definitely weird.
That's it.
It's great for a
Georgia, do you have any secret talents?
My secret talent, I guess, I'm really, really good at giving myself manicure and pedicures. That's not really a secret talent.
If you're ever locked in in a CIA situation, what can you do?
I'll manicure your fucking way out of here. Let's go.
Look at my cuticles. Immaculate.
I'm really good at watching death shows and then not sleeping all night because I'm thinking about getting murdered.
Yes.
Do you do that?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, we talked about this. You and I are obsessed with real death shows.
I can't even deal with it.
Do you know that Disappeared is on instant queue Netflix now?
No, don't
oh my
tell
God.
me that.
Yeah, it's bad. What have you been watching?
Like really bad ones. Have you watched I Shouldn't Be Alive? Mm-hmm. God, I love that show. Mm-hmm.
What about that I Killed My BFF? I just love that they used the word BFF. There was a show called I Killed My BFF.
I've seen those commercials.
That's terrible.
Which is
There's
so
also
hilarious.
Who the Bleep Did I Marry? There's a show called that.
You're kidding me.
Swear to God.
What do they do?
It's like, oh my God, my husband turns out to be this criminal.
Yeah,
and they're like, shit. And then interview the wife or husband, oops, he killed someone. He killed his ex-wife. Or oops, he embezzled all this money. Shit.
No.
I'm keeping the wedding presents though. They always keep their wedding presents.
Are they usually newlyweds, or is it they've been married for 15 years?
All of them.
Any range.
You never fucking know you're gonna marry.
I'm also really into some vintage 2020.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's
how vintage
good.
we talking?
Mid 90s.
Ooh, yeah.
Rooney still had the eyebrows though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Do you go on to afterwards? Do you go on to Wikipedia and find out what happened to the people?
I like this
Always
thought.
do. Always do.
Okay.
Do you want to know?
My new move.
Do you want to know something creepy? I don't watch death shows. Both all y'alls are crazy. I'm like, the world is so scary. I don't need to be more scared. But once I was in Thailand in a hotel room. Let's not talk about it. No, I was in a resort. It was lovely. But I watched a death show, and it was about some people who, I don't know, they just clubbed someone with a rock or something. And I don't know. They buried the body in the desert.
I don't know. You just keep going.
You know how that is. But I was like, one of them had a really weird name, and I'm like, let's see if they're on Facebook. And I found one of the conspirators who was never jailed was a woman totally on Facebook. And I was like, we live in an age where I can add her as a friend.
Oh my God.
They just go on to live their lives.
Oh
no
my
proof.
God.
And I could be like, look, you water ski. Good for you. It was so
you killed someone and you also like mahjong.
Well, I felt really weird because I was like, I'm totally stalking this lady. Then I was like, this lady totally killed someone else. So in the grand scheme of things,
oh my God.
You're allowed to stalk.
I was the other night, I love doing my nails and watching death shows and awful shows like that. And on TLC, I texted Alie this at 5 o'clock. No, it was whatever. I texted Alie, this show called DUI. Have you seen it?
No.
It's this show on TLC where they just it's like cops, but only DUI. It's
oh my gosh,
amazing. So much math happening to people.
Oh really?
All
I guess driving under the influence of math.
I thought you were saying math. So much math is happening.
1 + 1 equals you in jail.
Count backwards from 10. What am I at right now?
It's amazing.
I got pulled over for a DUI once.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Were you drunk?
I was driving some friends around Hollywood. I had been at a bar for 4 hours. Everyone was just drinking, and I was driving, and I got pulled over, and the officer was like, been drinking tonight? And I was like, nope, I had some tea at the bar while my friends were drinking, and he shined a light in my eyes, and I have crazy weird light wolf eyes, and they get bloodshot really easily, and so he didn't believe me that I had tea, so he pulled me out onto Hollywood Boulevard and made me do a whole a dance routine, a drunky man test is what they call it.
Walk the line.
Yes, a field sobriety test, and then
did you have to count? Wait, is there some sort of counting backwards
or the alphabet
happens?
or something?
Because I can't do the alphabet backwards.
No,
sober.
No,
stone cold.
Absolutely.
I would get tripped up on it. I'm sure. He followed my eyes with a pen. Didn't believe me.
Is the walking the straight line thing a trick? Because that looks. I mean, if you have to go toe to toe, I'm not kind of a klutzy person. You've seen me. I fucking fall into everything.
Yeah, I mean, and you're wearing heels. It's Saturday night, and also you're the theater that is Hollywood Boulevard. You're a spectacle.
When I was watching this DUI show, DUI. They knew, you could tell that this person was under a lot of influence of a lot of things, and they still made them walk that line, and it was hilarious. I laughed. They were falling everywhere, but I was like, you know that they're drunk already. why don't you just take them in?
But I was incredibly nervous, and I had a friend in the backseat who was very drunk, who was being like, well, she's fine, she's drinking tea. And I was like, shut it, please. I will fight this battle. And so I was like, do you have a breathalyzer? I was like, breathalyze me. Like, let's do this. And he's like, I have one right there. And I was like, let me put my mouth on that because I got it to prove you something. And I literally had not been drinking. Like, I really was drinking tea all night. Like, I was totally super responsible. I had green tea while all my friends were getting totally smashed.
2.8.
I blew an 8.6.
Because you drink mouthwash. That's right.
No, it was a 0.0, of course. But I was like completely sober.
Have you ever been pulled over?
What did he say?
It was, I think I said booyah, high five. And I was like, I'm so glad you had that. But I was like, I swear. And he's like, your eyes are a little bloodshot. And I was like, I'm hungry right now.
Yeah, I've seen your eyes when you don't eat. They're like
the taco truck.
I know. When I get hungry, my eyes get crazy bloodshot. And in college, people used to ask me where to buy weed. And I'm like, I don't do drugs. But I get really hungry.
I want a sandwich.
But yeah, so don't drink and drive. It's dumb and it's expensive.
Yeah. So silly.
Yeah, and in LA, I think people don't know way around it, but that's why George and I hang out in a pack of two, so one of us can have fun and the other one could drive.
There you go.
Pretty much.
I got pulled over for talking on my cell phone.
Ooh.
And I was, in fact, talking on my cell phone. And the cop was like, you're doing wrong. I was like, I know. I took a call. I took that call.
You just did it. You're like,
I really did that. He's like, and then he commented on my driver's license. We ended up having a really long, nice conversation. Oh. And he still wrote me a ticket.
No.
He was like, you are the hardest person I've ever had to write a ticket to. Oh. And I was like, I really wish that you didn't have to do it then. He's like, yeah, I hear you go.
Why would he have to do it still? You don't have to give someone a ticket.
No, he didn't. But then he did.
How many bones? How much?
It was $175. It was an expensive phone call. Yeah. And it was a good lesson because I don't do it.
You don't text or call or anything.
No. Who are you on the phone with?
My boyfriend called me.
Did he take you out to a nice dinner after that?
No, he didn't split it. Yeah.
That's awful.
Speaking of dinners, let's say that we had a kitchen raid right now, which we're not because I'm not getting out of this pillow for it. But if you had to raid the kitchen, like guilty pleasure style.
Saltine crackers.
That sucks.
I know. That's great.
What are you talking about?
Butter and grape jelly.
All right, now you're talking.
You know what else is good? Matzo with butter and honey.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I will stand in the kitchen and eat a whole sleeve of that. No shame. Preferably the jelly comes out one of those.
Oh my gosh. Joy the baker.
Yeah, just go.
You're talking like jelly, not jam, not like fancy
jelly.
Just fucking gooey like
jelly.
There's no seeds up in this bitch.
No, there's no actual fruit.
There's no fruit
happening.
It's purple sugar.
It's grape flavoring. Yeah. Which what the fuck is that? That's a good
my
snack.
Pleasure.
Do you bring a plate of them out or do you like one at a time? Or just like
I just stand in the kitchen with staring at the wall.
Oh my god.
With a sleeve.
That makes me sad.
I no, it's really good time. It's like the thinking in the shower time.
Yeah.
But it's just standing in the kitchen.
Do you know what's great is that
mindlessly eating.
That's what happens when you live alone. Like you get to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah. And no one's like, what are you doing? Just no, leave
this is my time. Or like they tell their boyfriend, like, my roommate's super weird. She doesn't. What's yours, Alie?
Oh God. I think I could polish off a box of cereal in a way that I think would frighten people if they saw it.
No milk, just on its own?
Oh God, no, tons of almond milk.
Oh,
get
really?
up in that. Cold as hell, but the cold is a back room of a haunted hell house. I'm weird about carbohydrates where if I start eating them, I am on a fast track to like Comaville, and I just will be like, this isn't stopping, and just chase the dragon. I remember once I had a boyfriend and I forget. He was like, what happened to that big bowl of pudding? And I was like, don't talk to me about it. And then he pinned me down to the floor and he's like, what happened to it? And I was like, I started.
Oh my God. When you were making a cookbook, did you had to cook every recipe over and over, or bake every recipe? Like 5 or 6 times?
A good handful of times. I also had people testing recipes for me, so it was like out of my house.
But you still had to bite things.
Yes. I gained weight. For sure. So much stuff. And I was testing recipes for cakes this week, and by Friday I was like, this cake has to go. I was standing in the kitchen with it was a German chocolate sheet cake that I made. And I was just before I even took any pictures, I took out my slice of cake, put it on a plate for photographs, and then I find myself in the kitchen with a fork just going at the pan. Just the pan. I was like, this is a problem. Throw it away.
What's your workout choice? Because you are in very good shape for a baker.
Oh,
for anyone, really.
No, mostly for a baker, though.
That's terrible.
You've got a great butt. I looked at it.
You do have a great ass. I can attest to that.
She's got a good one.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Awkward. I like to ride my bike. I was telling you guys in London. I ride my bike like a maniac.
Aren't you scared you're going to get killed?
I think it would be worth it if I did.
Okay. That's one way to... He died in a good way. He was riding his bike around.
When you die of a fatal head injury, will you come haunt us?
I'll try. I don't know how that works. I'll try to make my way.
We'll figure it out.
Appreciate that. Can you just come and just leave a cake on my counter?
That's how we know it's
Is that cool?
And do so.
Well, that is kind of weird, though, because all of us are in the food business, in the food industry, where we have to concoct things and make things. And I feel like my relationship with food is a little bit changed now that I have to eat and taste and evaluate things.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, it just feels like it's raining cakes and salamis on me. And, we make cocktails, so it's like you do a lot of testing and you kind of have to, I guess, it's still quite enjoyable. Food is still enjoyable for you, yes?
Yeah. There is a lot of consumption, but it is enjoyable. It's the thing I love the most. But what I don't love the most is going out to eat for bad food. That just makes me so angry.
Did you have a crappy meal recently?
No, I try to stay away from crappy meals. Like if friends are all going out to a place, I'm like, well, like let's weigh our options here. Like maybe we could hang out afterwards and I don't have to spend $50 on crappy food.
Do you ever call it? Yeah.
Do you feel like you waste a meal when you have I like kind of get disappointed when I go and have dinner because I don't have dinner once a day, And if I have like this awful dinner, I'm like, well, there's one day of my life that I'm like of this shitty food that I'm not going to get back.
Dinner. Yes.
I love eating too, and it really pisses me off when I'm like, I could have made that better at home.
Exactly.
And I just paid you so much money for it.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just got to go out with your bros and have some jalapeno poppers.
That's true.
Doesn't that sound
good jalapeno poppers?
Doesn't that sound like the worst thing ever? Is to be somewhere and then suddenly there's just a ton of jalapeno poppers.
Sounds great.
And then there's probably at Hooters, which is an awful place to be at to begin with.
There's like the sampler platter where like you don't want anything on it, but it's
all these samples.
And you're like, I guess.
I just hate that. Like I like shitty food. Like I love chicken wings, but recently I got bad chicken wings, and it's so disappointing. Yeah. I don't mind jalapeno poppers if they're not disgusting.
Jalapeno poppers can fuck right off. They have nothing for me.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's something about them that I find so insulting.
Spicy cheese?
I love spice. I love peppers. I'm into cheese. I'm
deep
okay
fried.
with breaded stuff. Yeah. I'm a weirdo, though, where I don't really care about deep fried stuff. Like, it's one of those things where, you know how, like, there's one gay kid who's like, yeah, boobs. And then one day he's like, you guys, I'm not into it. When everyone goes bananas over deep fried stuff, I kind of am like, yeah, I don't care that much, though.
Onion rings. I could just never stop eating onion rings.
I don't care about them.
Yeah. No,
I don't care.
Start caring.
So what's next for you?
What is next? Next, maybe I would like to write another book.
Ooh.
And I'm just going to do more stuff with Joy the Baker and my podcasting.
Your podcast is awesome.
And
are you going to be a media mogul? Even more?
Yeah.
You already kind of are.
I'm working on that.
Mogul.
I'm working on mogulization.
Mogulizing.
It's a tricky road to navigate.
Yeah, it is.
It out.
You gonna get brands behind you and stuff?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. That sounds weird and gross, but
it does.
I think that's a thing.
You make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
You can get like the Clabber Girl tattooed on your neck, like a Pennzoil
Rad.
bar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get all kinds of brands.
I just need to be sponsored by saltine crackers.
Done.
Some sort of butter company.
You can make a lot of pie crusts out of saltines probably too, right?
Figure that out.
Fine.
Work on that. Mm-hmm. Well, before we close up, what about fuck that?
Yeah.
If you have a thing this week, one thing that you really love and one thing that you're like, ugh.
One thing that I love and one thing that I hate?
Yeah. One thing that you're like, ugh.
Fuck yeah.
What about one thing that I love hate?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Right.
I love hate this television show called My Big Fat American Gypsy Wedding.
Oh my god, it looks so terrible.
I love that. You have to watch this
I can't.
show.
It scares me. Really?
You have to.
I trust you.
It's so bad good. It's like these people are amazing. They brush their teeth with bleach.
What?
I've seen this show.
Right.
And it is, it's like a tractor beam of fascination, and it is so misogynistic, and it is
it's
so
terrible.
like these crazy anachronistic views on like how, when, and a woman should marry, and then top that with like trailer park opulence, where they live in a trailer park, but they're throwing a wedding that involves like more Swarovski, however you say them, crystals.
Oh my God,
and so much like pink chiffon, and yet they're like I don't know, they live in a like a tool shed somewhere.
It's mind-boggling.
Can I have a gypsy wedding?
Yes.
Will you guys come to my gypsy wedding?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I will. Do you break plates? What do? You shoot?
You and I get in a fight, Alie, right? You and I get in a fist fight.
Gypsies, yeah, gypsy style, sure.
Okay,
sure.
I'm gonna try and take my man.
I'm gonna learn how to play the accordion, and I'm gonna wear a bikini made out of gold coins.
Joy, will you make our wedding cake?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be so gross.
Well, check Joy the Baker out at joythebaker.com and check out her cookbook, Joy the Baker Cookbook, and her podcast, and how awesome she is.
She's also on Twitter.
At
Joy the Baker.
Wow. Just everything Joy the Baker.
Yeah.
Yep. JTB in his now in the fort, holding down the fort. Thank you so much for being here. We have a huge internet crush on you. If you don't already have one on Joy the Baker, get one.
Get it.
This is fun.
Thanks.
Slumber party.
Okay.
Your bras
time.
in the freezer.
Thanks so much for joining us on Slumber Party with Alie and Georgia. You can find us online at Alie and Georgia. We're on Tumblr, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. Just find us.
Stalk us.
Yeah.
Stalk us.
And you can also rate us, and you can leave us comments on our iTunes.
Yeah, subscribe on iTunes. That way you know whenever we put out a new podcast. You can also go to feralaudio.com. That's a podcast collective that puts our podcast and other ones out. You can donate, give a couple bucks. If you liked this, if you listen to this when you're commuting, give a couple bucks next time you're on the site.
Listen to all the other cool podcasts on there. There's some really good ones.
God, there's some smart people on that.
Yeah,
I don't know how we wound up on this network.
Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. And in the meantime, have a nice slumber party.
Feralaudio.com is an artist-friendly podcast collective hosted by Castmates.fm. Host their own podcast at Castmates.fm today. All of our artists reserve the rights to their materials. Your donations directly support your favorite artists, help pay for their show's production, and keep your favorite shows free. Visit feralaudio.com for other original shows and learn about our community and artists that help make this collective possible. Thank you for listening to this podcast. This outro features the music of The Fancy. We are thefancy.net.
Hey, this podcast you're about to listen to is brought to you by us here at Beyond Yacht Rock, where we make an arbitrary genre every week and then count them down.
We do ones like, I Can't Believe It's Not Better,
Camaro Summer,
or George Orwave.
What are they? I don't know. Check it out. Find out.
Here on feralaudio.com.